is the Jason Walker Show. Two-time National Sports Media Association Montana Sportscaster of the Year and three-time loser, The Jason Walker Show. The best local and statewide sports coverage, featuring the biggest guests from Montana.
Flint Rasmussen joining us here on The Jason Walker Show.
He's freaking exhausting, too. You used to dance a lot more. Yeah, I know, lady. I'm 51 years old now.
The NAI Hall of Famer Mike Van Diest joining us here, Jason Walker Show. And is it just a deal where quarterbacks have to be good golfers?
Well, that's all they have time for. They don't work out. They don't lift weights. They don't do anything else. They might as well go get on the golf course and at least have some fun.
And from across the country,
Doug Gottlieb, our guest here on The Jason Walker Show.
End of the day, remember, it's your show. It's got your name on it.
Howie Mandel, our guest here.
Jason Walker, deal or no deal?
The Jason Walker Show, broadcasting from the Major Mortgage Man Cave. Here's Jason Walker.
Oh, here we go. Happy Thursday. It is the Jason Walker Show. And yeah, we got some good stuff coming up today. Let's see here. Right, switching. I got to get that on the air. Boom. There we go. All right, big stuff. We got a big show. We're going to talk to the Big Sky Region official, unofficial, all-around champion in college rodeo. Ryland Lufkin will join us. Belt girls coach Jeff Graham will join us today as well. And of course, the MHSA talked about spring sports again today, so we'll bring that up. But we're going to start right into our show today. That is because we have a very special guest. She is the Montana Coaches Association AA Girls Coach of the Year for basketball. Her name is Catherine Garson-Forba, and she joins us now here on the Jason Walker Show. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. So I think that it came out like Tuesday or whatever. Congratulations on your award, by the way. But we all knew we know you as Katie.
Yes. Yeah. Like I said, it blew my cover completely. I'm assuming that people knew that Katie was probably short for something.
Right. Right.
But it made me giggle because everything that MCA had sent to me, letting me know. I even think on the ballot I was Katie Garson-Forba. So I was like, wow, people must think I'm pretty pompous, like with this huge name, Catherine Garson-Forba, and wow, but. Yeah, now everybody knows Catherine is the real name, and I'm going to demand that be what I'm called at work from now on, I think.
I like that. Is it Catherine Marie? Is it Catherine Ann? What are we, am I close?
Catherine Marie, first try. Yep.
Really? I nailed it? Well, Katie Marie just flows, right? So
It does.
All right.
I know way too many Katie and Catherine Maries, so I think that's kind of like the first guess for many people.
Absolutely. Katie Garson-Forba joining us here, Jason Walker Show. All right, so we've talked about your co-championship, and this kind of blew up on the Twitter today, but you're going to be, or your team is going to be, on Scott Van Pelt Sports Center tonight on ESPN, a feature of the senior, something he's been doing for about a month now, since COVID-19 blew everything up.
Yes, a lot of credit goes out to Don Cresswell, and Jeremy Schnell.
Yep.
They both had reached out to me about Scott Van Pelt putting that on his show. And so Don and I both submitted information, and Jeremy submitted information to him a couple weeks ago, and then hadn't really heard back or anything. And they both stayed very persistent of, hey, what about Helena Capital Girls? And submitted our story a couple times. And so when I got tagged in the tweet today and he was like, well, give us some more information, I was like, oh my gosh, this is our opportunity to get the senior girls and the players, just a little bit more recognition and celebrate them a little bit more for the fantastic season that they had. And our four seniors were absolutely phenomenal throughout the season for us as leaders and just as teammates. So I think it's such a cool thing, and there's absolutely been nothing normal about this state championship and how it's played out. So I think that this is only fitting that the girls will get to be on ESPN now.
No, it's very cool. It's just a great deal for the four girls. Because like you said, their senior year was a little different, and it came to an end a little bit different. And you're going to get recognized with the Hellgate boys, which I think is a really cool deal too.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they're obviously in a very, very similar situation. They had a phenomenal season. They were undefeated. They had just a very sad, weird ending to theirs as well. And I know they shared in that disappointment of how it ended. And I think, I think that Jeff Hayes does a great job with their program. I think they do it the right way. And so for them to get that recognition, I think is just very, very cool. To have two Montana teams get highlighted on the show will be neat to see. And I think I'm glad that they were able to get them on it as well.
Yeah, Raleigh Worcester, Abe Johnson, Cam Lawrence, Wes Salonen, Cade McWilliams, Brandon Coladonato, and Aiden Gillum for Hellgate. And then your four girls, McKinley Mahelish, Michaela O'Malley, Ariana Ridlin, and Sloan Chapman, they're just great kids. And this is really cool that they're going to be on, Scott Van Pelt's going to say their name.
Right. And I'm not sure that they necessarily know how big of a deal that is yet. I think when they hear their name or they see it, it's going to set in a little bit. But again, they're just such a great group of seniors. They're all fantastic students. They were no drama. They were great teammates. I mean, they're in it for the right reasons in sports. And, I'll never forget the disappointment on their faces and the tears that they shed when we found out that they just played their last basketball game. And so for them to get to have that moment, it's something special that I think all four of them deserve. And it'll just be a really cool thing to kind of cap off their senior year. Especially our seniors are losing out on so many things this year with all the COVID-19 stuff, their graduation. Even if they get to compete in some sort of spring sport at some point, the season is, much, much shorter. And so just all those things they're taken from them. So this is one positive light in all of this weirdness and darkness going on.
Katie Garson Forba, the Capital Girls coach, joining us here on the Jason Walker Show. And so does this kind of set a precedence, though, because the juniors on the team, the sophomores, the freshmen, the girls coming up are going to go, well, we got screwed. Our names aren't going to get mentioned on ESPN.
Well, I hope that, if we are in a situation to be competing for another state championship, that we'll be satisfied in playing the game out and not necessarily hoping another pandemic strikes. No, I think it's definitely going to continue to make for a very unique story for these girls, which is what sports is about. I mean, what a powerful thing that, again, he's using his platform to be able to highlight these seniors. It's just a very cool thing. And it's to see people blowing it up on Twitter and sharing it. And, we have different media outlets that are sharing, retweeting it, tune in. And, it's like, how cool is that to kind of bring some unity in our sports world when we're all very much separated during all of this.
This is the one time I'll let you brag about other sports media on the Jason Walker Show, by the way.
Fair enough.
So, I got to ask you a couple of off-the-wall questions real quick while I got you. So I'm looking for some photos to put up of you. There's none that don't have you or your husband in them together, which you got to have I just need one headshot of you. But I go back to your playing days. I didn't realize you were a Gooey Duck.
Yes, I was. I was a Gooey Duck. I was a Red Devil for 2 years at Lower Columbia College, and then I transferred to Evergreen, and I was a mighty, mighty Gooey Duck.
Are those edible?
They are.
Are
Actually,
they good?
Most of the clam chowder that you eat in the Pacific Northwest is probably from Gooey Duck.
Really?
Yeah, it's a lot easier to harvest, and they can do farms, and there's more meat. They're meatier.
I saw the Dirty Jobs one time with Mike Rowe when he was harvesting them. They're disgusting.
They are. They're incredibly. I'm going to tread lightly here because I'm on the radio, but they're a fascinating creature. And when I was looking at transferring schools, I was like, I have no idea what this is. I thought it was pronounced geoduck.
Right.
But there's a huge market for them, and they taste very much just like a clam, and so they're specialty over in Japan and some of the countries over there. So it's a fascinating. Gooey ducks are a fascinating topic.
Well, we'll have to have a conversation on that one day. The final question for you today, but I was looking again at the pictures. There's a lot of pictures of like you coaching or other coaches, and then it's always that bench shot of the team during a timeout. You ever notice that half the team's never paying attention? They're all looking around somewhere.
I did notice that. I did notice that in all of the pictures, and I'm like, and it's funny because we track what gets said in timeouts, and that way when I go back and I watch film, I can see, okay, did we actually execute out of the timeout, or did we and we actually have a really high percentage to be able to execute out of timeouts or dead ball situations. But I did notice that, and we've got one girl on our team. She kills me, Rachel Stacy. She's always dancing in our timeout. If you watch her at all, she'll be back there just kind of grooving to her own beat. And but I turn around and I ask her, I'm like, did you hear any of that? And, oh yeah, and she can regurgitate it. So no, my team, it's a fascinating. If you would have come to any of our practices, you would have died at half of them. You would have no idea that team was as good and competitive as they are, just based on some of our practices and what would happen.
Well, knowing how you are, I'm surprised that you're a state champion as well. I mean, you're kind of goofy too. So, hey, appreciate you joining us. Congratulations again on the Coach of the Year nod, and also for being on the Sports Center tonight. Catherine Garson-Forba, we'll call her Katie from now on, but have a good day, and we'll talk to you soon. Hello? Did we lose her? I think we lost her. All right, so there we go. We lost Coach. Yep, we lost her. That's official. So Katie Garson-Forba joining us, and you can watch Scott Van Pelt Sports Center on ESPN tonight at 9 p.m. Mountain Time. They'll replay it after 10 o'clock. So congratulations to both the Hellgate boys and the Capital girls getting on the air. So appreciate it, and Coach Garson-Forba joining us. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back and I'll give you my thoughts on the MHSA's new suspension today. We'll chat about that and also talk to Belt coach Jeff Graham when we return next here on the Jason Walker Show.
I'm done with this.
Thinking about trying something new? The Montana Air National Guard has so many exciting career fields to choose from, many that can open up opportunities in your civilian life. The best part? You'll be getting paid to learn a new trade skill right here at home. What are you waiting for? Let's get you in school and get you paid. Contact Leak Fecto at 406-788-8962.
Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting, as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals. During this time of uncertainty and stay-at-home orders, Dinners Done Right wants to remind you that they're still open. Just go to dinnersdoneright.com, place your order, and then pick it up for dinner that night, or plan ahead and order for the weekend. It's easy. Visit dinnersdoneright.com, register, pick your meals, then pick them up, or stop in and grab meals out of the front freezer. Dinners Done Right's taking extra precautions with extra cleanings going on with every piece of equipment and personnel. Dinners Done Right thanks you for your continued support, and may we all stay safe and healthy during this time. Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $289. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Welcome back to the Jason Walker Show.
Oh, happy Thursday, the Jason Walker Show. Major Mortgage Man Cave. Thanks to Katie Garson-Forba for joining us. Ryland Lufkin, UM Western freshman rodeo star, will join us coming up in about 20 minutes or so. Also, my thoughts on MHSA's newest deal today where they're extending the suspension of spring sports. But I want to hop right into it and get to our next guest. This segment brought to you by Rucker's Furniture. Make the quality choice for your home at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn in Helena. We bring in Belt girls coach Jeff Graham. Coach, how are you?
Hey, good. How are you, Jason?
I am great. You're social distancing with the kids, playing at the park and chasing kids all over the place.
Yeah. Got the girls out here shooting hoops and the boys hitting some baseball. So we're just trying to get out of the house for a few minutes before we go crazy.
It's it is. I don't even know the words anymore to keep saying because we just keep, where are we going to be in 2 months? That's the big question, or a month from now.
Exactly. That's the big question. We're working on trying to get camps together, summer balls, stuff like that. Even into the scheduling for volleyball and football, we've been having AD conference meetings and stuff like that. So we'll see. My football boys are getting anxious to figure out what they're going to do this summer. So
yeah,
we're just kind of sitting and waiting and seeing. So
how are you?
Get better.
How are you adjusting with workouts and the kids? There was a great article yesterday at 406mtsports.com from Jordan Hansen, who said, you know what? It's okay for kids to play video games right now. They don't have to go gangbusters in training because we don't know if there's even going to be anything this summer.
We're pretty lucky. We have very, very intrinsically driven kids here. We have kids begging for stuff. And that's kind of what we told them. We said, take the first few weeks off. You guys had a long football year. The volleyball team was at state. Both teams made state basketball. Like we said, you deserve 2 weeks off. We normally do that anyway. Most of our kids are 3 sports. Some are 4 sport with cross country.
Sure.
So we normally give them that 2-week break regardless after state basketball. They come to track practice, stretch a little bit, maybe throw, but it's kind of our downtime anyway. And then, the kids kind of got bored and they've been out working out, and getting to the parks and stuff and throwing the football. I know our ranchers are happy. Most of our guys are out calving, so they're pretty happy to have some free labor. That's been, my assistant coaches really love that aspect of it. So, but yeah, we're just kind of, the kids are getting anxious now. A lot of the kids are going stir crazy and the parents are just, we had a senior graduation meeting yesterday. What we're going to do, maybe something out in the football field, a spread out graduation, something for, we don't have to deal with that many kids. We're graduating 22 kids, so a little easier for us to do that than most. But I don't know. We're all kind of just, they're playing a little Madden, learning some football stuff and hanging out. And, we're doing some online meets with our classes. We probably kids probably have 4 online meetings a day with our teachers. And so it's kind of fun to see them that way. At least we get to connect with our kids there. So but hopefully we'll get to see them soon.
How has the online schooling gone up there?
We're very fortunate. Being a small school, we were able to provide Chromebooks for everybody. We only had about a handful of people without internet access. Our internet company came out, hooked everybody up. All of our kids are online. I had my history classes today and PEs and yesterday, and so it's great. Like our teachers share, and we're very fortunate. We can hold our kids to a higher standard than a lot of them can, just because we have access to that. our kids have been great. The parents are phenomenal with it. I think we're kind of learning to work out the kinks, and from elementary on up, our staff is phenomenal. So, we're trying to push through it. We don't want to have our kids set back next year. If we don't return this year, we want to keep pushing them like we would have in a regular school year. And, we gotta make the best out of what we got here. So that's kind of been our motto.
Belt everything. Man, Jeff Graham joining us here on the Jason Walker Show. Final question about the school stuff before we talk about the upcoming book. But do you think that there'll be school back in buildings this spring?
No clue. I wish I had a nickel for everybody to ask. I know the teachers are really wishing, or the parents are really wishing. I think they're kind of appreciating the teachers a little bit more. But if it stems it, if not, if they feel the best decision is to stem it, and hopefully get these kids a regular summer, then be so. If they decide to do it gradually, where they come back for a little bit and keep the distance, I don't know. We have a really good administration and school board, and right now I'm just kind of working out the AD stuff for next year, and I'm just kind of working with them. But yeah, we have no clue. We'd love to, being with these kids. This was my first kindergarten class, so not being able to see these seniors graduate. I had 8 playing basketball, 6 on the football squad, and we're really close with a lot of these kids. So that's been the toughest thing for me. Is I really miss my seniors, and I hope I get to spend some more time with them.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Try to get him on Scott Van Pelt. I know the Capital and Hellgate boys and girls are going to be on Scott Van Pelt tonight. So that's
sweet.
Yeah, that's he's doing that senior deal, and that's pretty sweet. But
awesome.
Yeah. 7 Hellgate boys, I think, and the 4 Capital girls. So it's pretty sweet deal. Jeff Graham joining us here.
That's been a cool feature.
Oh yeah, it has been, and for him to do that is just, it says a lot about him as a person, both high school and college kids.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree. And that's, like you said, especially the Capital girls have a great year. And, we're losing Coach Petey. He's one of the best there is in the business. And, that's going to be tough not seeing him, because the Helena girls always come up to my tournament. We play quite a bit at my father-in-law's tournament. But yeah, and Jeff Hayes has done a great job there. So that's really cool that those guys are getting honored.
Speaking of really cool, as Jeff Graham joining us here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, you're writing a book, and it's not like you're busy enough with your own kids and then the Belt kids and your everything that you do at Belt, but you have found some time to write a book on the history of Class C.
Yeah, it was kind of weird. We were out. My daughter was at the Elks National Free Throw Contest last spring in Chicago, and ran into an old guy from actually Chester and Belt, just like me. And so we were kind of cruising around. He's a brilliant businessman, and his brother wrote for the Seattle PI. And we just started telling stories and old history and things like that. And something that, I've grown up, always loving and wanting to do. And he kind of put the idea in my ear. And so last summer I started meeting with some teams. I found a couple guys alive from the 1950 state tournament. I'm going to focus on Class C. That was our first state tournament. A couple guys from Nashua and Valier and a few others around. And then, we kind of moved on to a 57 Outlook team, 1960 Guilford team on the state tournament without a gym. Their gym burned down the year before. They had to practice in Hamm and Kremlin. Chester, my alma mater, was actually at that state tournament, so there was a lot of info there. And then we started let's expand this. We went to Joplin 57, Kremlin 62, and Rudyard had some great teams, and Hingham was runner-up back-to-back second. And I'm spitting out towns that no one's ever heard of.
Oh, yeah, no, I know.
They're all consolidated right now. They're called North Star. So back in the 70s and 80s, we were 6 towns between Chester and Havre. Right now, all we have is, Chester, Joplin, Inverness is one, and then we have North Star at the other 4. So we'd really like to get this history down before it goes away. There's a couple good books. Frank Sprague wrote one on the Bozeman Rosary and Guilford. The Puckett Boys wrote one on Peerless. And so what I did the last 2 weeks is I've been doing the Westby 1972-75 state title teams. Dick Norton, who's a longtime Boulder guy, was the coach of them. And then we jumped onto the Antelope team. Not many people have ever heard of Antelope. It's up there, Freud Med Lake.
Yeah.
Their school burned down in 77. So we actually, they were second in state in 75. Best player moved to Plentywood, won them a state championship. Mike McLean was up there with Peerless, who was a big influence on me. He was, the CMR coach. And my dad was his assistant for 13 years in Chester. So Coach McLean's helping, and Steve Keller, obviously, with his Opine connections and those guys. it's just been growing. It's amazing. I'll get calls from people all over, you know, guys from California, Arizona helping, and you know, they've kind of been taking road trips and talking to people and just getting side stories. My wife, you know, she's not a huge, because I don't want to listen to stats and things like this. So we're kind of finding like cool little interesting stories, tidbits about these teams. We're kind of hoping to make it interesting, but we're just kind of hoping to preserve the history of these guys. It's something. I mean, I've done programs from the 1950 state tournament from people helping out. So it's been really cool. It's been awesome.
That is fantastic.
It's kind of a good side project.
I can't wait to read it.
We had to cut it off. We're going to cut it off at 80. So we're going to work on Foxville and Outlook this week, two schools that don't even exist, that won 4 state titles from 76 to 80. So we're hoping, you know, it just kind of brings, you know, people are like, oh, you're Class C, but we always talk about that Class C brotherhood, you know, where we came from and all these small towns, and it's just, you see the same names. And for us, you know, our schools are dying, we're consolidating. I mean, you know, when I joined the Northern C, you know, again, Stanford guys were separate. Now they're together. You know, I mean, we're just Highwood Geraldine together. It's really sad. So we're trying to preserve this history. I got a lot of good coaches like Rod Tweet, Steve Keller, Jeff Keller, Steve's brother, Custer. I mean, countless guys have been hearing about this and doing half the work. I just get to listen to stories, and my job is just to kind of rough draft stuff, and I'm going to count on Scott Anderson. He's our writer for the PI, and he's going to go through there and make it sound smart. So not some dumb kid like me writing the book. So it should be good reading.
I can't wait till it's out. Belt coach Jeff Graham joining us here, Jason Walker Show. You know, you talk about schools that burned down, and I know you're stopping at 80, but I was just thinking today of Gardner and the Hereford brothers, Pat and Chris.
Oh,
man, how good were they? Oh,
yeah. I mean, that was our goal. And then, you know, you start looking in the 80s, you got Dryco's against England, 86, and, you know, the brother was 88, Chipper, and then the Walker boys. And so we got to going on this outline, and we had to quit. Yeah, because then you'll get into the Belt-Chester Highwood rivalry. There was a great book written by Eric Deegan on the Highwood-Belt rivalry of 93, 92 when we won it. And then I shouldn't say we, I was a 10-year-old manager, but, you know, there's all these things in you know, Joe Puckett from Peerless is writing the book there. And, you know, half these people are like, what are these towns? But, you know, that's one of my favorite things is to drive. Like, I want to do something on Edgar 1966, you know, turned into Plenty Crew. They won state. If you go to the bar down there, the banner's still in the gym. You know, the Bear Creek Bar right out of Red Lodge. Bear Creek won the 32 state championship.
Wow.
You know, they were Class B, but, you know, finding this hidden treasures in history is just phenomenal. It's amazing. Then you'll find out the connections, Jason, of who knows who and who puts you on to who. And I've just been able to meet so many awesome people. It's been a blessing. So I've kind of used this downtime to get my butt back in shape. So I jump on the treadmill and put my phone on speaker and do interviews, and it's been awesome.
That is so cool. I remember in 82 and 83, my dad was a teacher at Box Elder. And so, you know, I spent 2nd and 3rd grade in Box Elder.
Nice.
But, you know, that was back still at Joplin Inverness and Kremlin Guilford and, you know, those schools that I remember very well up there.
Yeah, I mean, they were taught, you know, people forget the KG Cougars won back-to-back titles, 98, 99, beat us. You know, and then, Blue Sky was a powerhouse.
Blue Sky, that's the other one, yeah.
Yeah, JI, Blue Sky, and KG we used to have, and now it's North Star and CJI. And,
right.
You know, and it's just awesome. A lot of the grandkids are playing now, a lot of the names, but you get some cool stories like, you know, this is kind of a sadder one, but Mr. Van Dessel was a 57 Joplin graduate, and they made state in Joplin, the only time ever. He graduates, moves back to Chester, and he goes with me to meet the 60 Guilford boys. So we go down there, and we're sitting in the basement with Don Miller, and they're telling stories. Mr. Van Dessel kind of tears up. I've known Mr. Van, you know, moved to Chester when I was 2 years old. You know, he's just a legend. And we were talking about the 57 team. I said, well, why are you crying, Mr. Van? He goes, I was supposed to graduate in 56. I went to the Sweetgrass Hills, Jeff, and we got in a car wreck, and my best friend and another gal passed away, and I missed a whole year for injury.
Wow.
And, you know, like stories like that. I said, are you sure, you know, Mr. Van, is this, you know, that's the stuff that my editors want, you know, like things like this, like stories and, you know, longtime legends that are there. And, you know, you learn some things like that. I mean, I know Mr. Van my whole life and didn't hear that for 36 years. So we're kind of finding some stuff like that. You know, the schools, Antelope, I mean, the town burns down. The kids were finished the year in Plentywood, and then they were absorbed by Westby, Plentywood, or Med Lake. And it's just really fun to bring back the history. You know, you go to these classic towns, we take a lot of pride. You know, most of the towns you drive into has that state championship year. You know, you're driving through Hinsdale, there's the 88, you know, Dry Cozen and Wayne Simon team, you know, and, you know, Dustin White and guys like that. And that, you know, we have that unique history in Class C, and I'm just hoping to preserve it. So I'm lucky there's a lot of people, so we figured we got to get our butts going and, you know, working like the 57 Outlook team, for instance. These guys were considered one of the best teams there was. They went and played the North Dakota State champions and beat them like 63-16. And then went and played Dickinson State's JV, you know. Things like that we're looking for, you know, kind of cool stories. And then you're hearing the stories about the Scobie Baseball League up there with some of the guys in the Black Sox got kicked off and we're up playing with Plentywood and Scobie. So we're getting a really, really good bunch of side stories on this stuff. And then, you know, we'll have the Wally Sullivan aspect, the Selvigs, you know, the Kellers. You look at the people that played in the 70s, they're some of the best coaches in the state. Rod Tweets, Udo Holvins and Forens out of Winifred, and their kids are coaching now, or their kids are, you know, have won state titles. So we're kind of looking for the family connections as well, and just trying to get as much down as we can. And hopefully it's interesting for people to read besides Class C history nerds like us. So.
Well, you know, my dad played at Clyde Park, which is now Shields Valley, but he also was to school at Wilsall and played against, you know, Bozeman Rosary with Tom Wassine, who was a stud. And
Colzer was one of the best there probably ever was out of, Scott Colzer out of Rosary. Yeah, and you get into St. Leo's, you know, George Yellow Eyes out of the not many people even know the Miles City Industrial School, you know, is now Pine Hills. George Yellow Eyes was one of the best players there was in the late 50s. I mean, his state tournament, he scored like 126 points in 3 games in the state tournament, 59. So we're pulling out these, you know, St. Leo's team. Yeah, you talk to people and they're like, Yellow Eyes, he was the man. He's one of the best Indian players that nobody knows about. And so we're digging up things like this, and it's just been awesome. And their families are, you know, really happy to talk about it and, you know, bring it back. And I mean, I talked to a guy that was on the national 1950 team that has never left the farm up there, Dodson area. And that guy could recite to me, I put my phone in and talked for 45 minutes and just recited everything about that year in tournament. It was just phenomenal.
I'm jealous.
I'm meeting him this summer.
I'm jealous listening to these stories.
Phenomenal. Yeah, it's just, and you get going. We had a conference call with the Chester boys with Coach McLean and them last night, kind of, you know, rehashing the GOAT story and arguing about people there. And, you know, 12 of us there just sat together on the Zoom meeting and talked for 2.5 hours, you know, and it's just, I mean, I just grew up worshiping Class C hoops, you know, and, you know, guys like Richie Powell, you know, you guys had him down there before it turned into Clyde Park, and he was in Highwood in the state tournament against us in 91, and, you know, then you get to his stories, and he puts you onto some leads, so it's been fun.
Well, there's 2 Dwayne Walker. Well, actually, there's 3, but there's 2 Dwayne Walkers, and my dad was not the Plentywood coach.
So and they were in Fort Benton when I was growing up,
right?
Playing Little League against them.
I have no relation to them, I don't believe, but yeah, I mean, you just to me, Class C basketball is always the best. I love the AA, I love, you know, A and B, but there's something special about Class C basketball, and it always has been, and it just, you know, literally towns will shut down at tournament time. You know, you could you could go rob those towns because there was nobody there.
And that's what the AA buddies I played with in college, you know, and they just don't get, you know, it's a big thing. But like, guys, it's a huge thing. I mean, Valier, 1950s, only state tournament they've been to. So, you know, when a team makes it, you know, I mean, it's a huge deal for the community. You know, it's tough to do. Now there's only 84 teams. There used to be over 113 teams back when I was playing. So it's a pretty big deal. You know, going to state in the AA, when there was 14 teams, it wasn't that big a deal to those guys. But yeah, like I said, the Usville shut down, and, you know, the old timers, I would go home, and first thing I do in college is go sit at the gas station and talk to the old timers, you know, and just, you know, catch up and listen to stories. And it's big for our communities, you know, and like home playoff games for us. I mean, that generates thousands and thousands of dollars for our bars and our cafes. And, you know, I hope someone takes this idea and does it with football. I think that'd be great, you know, because that half the stories come back with the, you know, the Terry and Zork and the Weebos, you know, all these teams that had good basketball teams, had great football teams. So it's just, yeah, it's fun to take a trip and, you know, go check out gyms. I took my wife on our anniversary to the Belfry gym, and there's the 3 state championship trophies from 52, 53, 54, and there's actually a dead bat in the gym the custodian had to get. I mean, it was just, you know, one of those coolest things. Like, all right, I got to do this book. It was just too much history in these towns forget about. So.
That's a funny story. My wife, she took me to D.C. for my 40th birthday, and then when she turned 30, I got to take her to Havre for a basketball game at Northern. So that was fun.
Dodge country, man. That's I love that town.
You mentioned Belfry and the bats, and hopefully there's no coronavirus with that bat that you guys found down there. But Bridger Belfry was another one, and that it's just these great small schools. We could talk about this forever. How many great ones there were.
Yeah, and that's the thing, Jason. Like we really quickly we said we got to narrow this book. We're going to have to end this in the 80s. And one thing I like my editor was going to do is he wanted to stir up a top 10 list, top 10 characters, top 10 coaches, some things like this to generate some buzz. And so we really feel, he's going to handle kind of the internet publicity, things like that, because I don't got time for that. But we thought that'd be fun. And hey, all of a sudden they might be giving us some stories and stuff. And, pretty soon the book's going to write itself. I just got to, write down the stories these guys are telling me and listen and enjoy. And it's awesome. Man, I interviewed a guy that from Antelope who ended up being the same wedding as my mom. They were in Mick Durham's wedding because my mom was Mick Durham's wife's maid of honor. And I know who you guys are. I was in the wedding with your mom, and geez, Louise, that was 79. And so cool things like that are kind of fun to chat with people about. So.
It's awesome, man. I can't wait to read it and get more stories. I'll have to check in with you down the road, but hopefully we get to talk around football season, and have yourself a great summer as much as you can, doing whatever. And thanks for joining us. Yeah, appreciate the time and enjoy the kids today.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Have a great Easter weekend, and feel free to contact us whenever. So
awesome. Appreciate it.
We're doing good in Belk America. All right. Take care, Jason.
Thanks, Coach. That is Jeff Graham joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline. What a great book that's going to be. The history of the Class C, basically, up until 1980. Man, unbelievable. Can't wait to read that. We'll take a quick break. We're going to come back. Yes, my thoughts on MHSA still to come. Also, when we return, Ryland Lufkin will join us, the official all-around women's champ in the Big Sky region, and she's just a freshman. She joins us next here on The Jason Walker Show.
Store-wide savings are what you'll find when you shop for new home furnishings at Rucker's Furniture. This means tremendous values on Helena's largest in-stock selection of home furnishings. When you shop Rucker's, you'll find store-wide savings on the furniture you want for every room in your home. And you'll also find our selection of Serta iComfort, the most comfortable beds in Helena. 12-month financing is available with approved credit on most purchases over $299. Ask for details. You'll find store-wide savings at Rucker's Furniture, 1010 Dearborn, Helena.
Yes, it's true that Montana is a long way from the Gulf Coast, but you can bring that Cajun flavor home with a stop at Cafe Zydeco. From po' boys to classic sandwiches, Cafe Zydeco has all the best Cajun in town. Are you in the mood for seafood gumbo or crawfish etouffee? Maybe you're craving jambalaya with some shrimp and grits. Head in for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, or call ahead for pickup or delivery. Cafe Zydeco will fix all your southern cravings, even on a chilly Montana day. Cafe Zydeco is a proud sponsor of The Jason Walker Show. Spring is fast approaching and summer is just around the corner, so now is the time to get those windows tinted at Auto Concepts as the sun starts to heat up. Tinting is the best way to keep the sun out of your little one's eyes driving down the road. Plus, it just looks cool. Auto Concepts is your exclusive 3M dealer for tinting, as well as the best clear bras in town. Auto Concepts clear bras will not fade or yellow over time. And don't forget about suspension lifts and power steps for your rig too. Visit AutoConceptsHelena.com or check them out on Facebook. Auto Concepts, the auto enhancement professionals.
I'm done with this.
Thinking about trying something new? The Montana Air National Guard has so many exciting career fields to choose from, many that can open up opportunities in your civilian life. The best part? You'll be getting paid to learn a new trade skill right here at home. What are you waiting for? Let's get you in school and get you paid. Contact Leak Fecto at 406-788-8962.
Have you thought about buying a home and just don't know where to begin? Well, when it comes to one of the most important purchases one can make, we understand it can be frustrating and confusing, but it doesn't have to be. Let the Major Mortgage team help you with all your mortgage needs. Major Mortgage means major service, and we would love the opportunity to help you today. Give J.R. McFadden, NMLS number 1246357, a call today at 406-465-1918, or you can visit him at 2001 11th Avenue, Building A, Suite 3 in Helena. Major Mortgage is a division of AMCAP Mortgage, NMLS number 129122, equal housing lender.
Who doesn't love being number one? When your team's dominating the standings, or your favorite band rocks the charts at number one, it feels good, right? Kind of like how it feels when you have auto insurance with State Farm. Because making you feel like number one is an honor your local State Farm agent takes seriously. Through the good times and not so good, your State Farm agent's proud to be here to help life go right.
Call State Farm agent Mike Miller in Helena today. During this time of uncertainty and stay-at-home orders, Dinners Done Right wants to remind you that they're still open. Just go to dinnersdoneright.com, place your order, and then pick it up for dinner that night, or plan ahead and order for the weekend. It's easy. Visit dinnersdoneright.com, register, pick your meals, then pick them up, or stop in and grab meals out of the front freezer. Dinners Done Right's taking extra precautions with extra cleanings going on with every piece of equipment and personnel. Dinners Done Right thanks you for your continued support, and may we all stay safe and healthy during this time.
Final segment on a Thursday, Jason Walker Show. Coming up tomorrow, we will talk with Air National Guard Staff Sergeant Luke Fecteau. And Andy Bolich, Montana State rodeo coach, will join us as well. Next week, guests will include the Golf Channel's Chantel McCabe. And a whole lot more coming up next week. Jason Walker Show, Major Mortgage Man Cave. Right now, get on the schedule for Nitro Green's lawn, pest, and tree needs. For you, Nitro Green will take care of it, and they will do a great job. You need some aeration? Get it done now. You need spiders gone? Get on the schedule. You want your trees looking good? Get on the schedule. Get a hold of Nitro Green in Helena, nitrogreenhelena.com or 443-5088, or wherever you listen and you have a Nitro Green, get on the schedule. All right? All right. So we've seen so many different things canceled. Not postponed, just flat out canceled. The Open Championship over in Britain. The Masters has been moved. U.S. Open's been moved. That's just golf, which we'll talk to Chantel McCabe about next week from the Golf Channel. We've seen a lot of stuff. American Legion World Series and regionals canceled. I'll give you my thoughts on Montana High School Association's decision today that is still to come. Still haven't canceled spring sports because they're holding out hope. But we'll talk about that in a moment. One of the things that was also canceled was the entire spring college rodeo season, and yesterday the college national finals rodeo canceled, or Tuesday this week. They said that they would not be holding the CNFR in June in Casper, and they were supposed to wait till May 14th. They made the decision this week, and now it's not happening. And to join us is the unofficial all-around champion, because she gets a buckle for being the all-around champ. She will not, however, get the saddle, and apparently the scores and whatever happened in the fall are just going to get wiped away. But joining us now to chat about that and a whole lot more of the rodeo is Western freshman from Idaho, Ryland Lufkin. She joins us now here on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline.
All right, first question, Ryland, is how disappointing was it the other day to find out not only the college rodeo spring season was done, but now the CNFR?
It was very disappointing. I was excited to not only have the rest of my spring season because I had such a good fall, but attend my first CNFR. That would have been fun, and it's pretty disappointing to have that taken away.
You are unofficially the Big Sky Region all-around champion. Told, though, you don't get the saddle, but you do get the buckle.
Right, yep.
That doesn't seem right.
Yeah, that was also a pretty big disappointment, yeah.
But you still have that, that you were the winner. But take me through the fall season, because you had such a great
fall season to jump out to that big lead and to get that all-around crown.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And, my horses were great for me, and I really had fun. We traveled to Havre and Glendive, and then we had our hometown college rodeo in Dillon. And, yeah, it was just a lot of fun. I thought my horses worked great, and it was really fun to be on the college rodeo team.
So you finished 787 in total points. It was pretty close. Madison Wilkerson of MSU at 785, and then Paige Rasmussen right there at 783. These are girls you're going to compete with for the next few years, and obviously you're friends with all of them too.
Oh yeah, I mean they're great, and it's quite an honor to be just ahead of them because they're great. They're great hands, and I really respect them both.
Rylan Lufkin joining us here. You are a freshman on the UM Western squad. How'd you choose Western?
I really liked the location. I really liked Dillon, and it's kind of a small town. Cody Leahy, the coach there, he's been great. He's a hand too, and I thought he could help me and make me better as well. So that was a big factor too.
What's your favorite event?
I really like it. It depends on the day, I guess you could say, but I really like to breakaway. That's what I've worked at probably the most, and I really like to run barrels and team rope too.
You were fourth on the header side after the fall, which is pretty impressive. And I know we've seen women ropers for a long time, but there's a lot more in college rodeo, and it just seems to be I guess it's really cool for me to be able to see these young ladies like yourself get out there and team rope.
Right. Yeah, it's quite an honor. I mean, it's definitely more rare to see a girl in the team roping events, but yeah, I had a great partner in the team roping, and it was a lot of fun. I have a really nice head horse as well. So,
how many horses do you have?
I have 6 of my own, and then my parents own a lot more than me. They own around 20, 25.
Wow, nice. Okay, give me the names of your 6.
I have Roan 6-year-old that I call Roni, 6-year-old bay mare that I call Fergie, and then the horses that I hauled to the rodeos this year were a barrel horse that I call Vegas, and another barrel horse that I call Willie. I placed on him in the average at Havre, and I also have my favorite horse, probably is my breakaway horse. His name's Little Bro. He's 20 this year, and he's quite the veteran, and he knows his job well. And then my head horse, his name's Cowboy, and he's 12 this year, and he's just been great. They're all really reliable and give me a chance to win every time. So that's a blessing for sure.
You're second in the breakaway. I mentioned 4th on the heading side, and then 14th in barrel racing. I got to ask you, though, about goat tying, because my wife is not a big fan of goat tying. She thinks it hurts. It doesn't. But you finished 12th in the goat tying. But tell me what it's like to hop off a horse at 25, 30 miles an hour.
Goat tying is always something that I've kind of forced myself to do. It's not really something I enjoy, but I do it, and I work hard at it anyways. I mean, it's definitely takes some athleticism, which I had to work pretty hard for because I'm not that athletic. And it's, I've done it for a long time, but it is scary to go down there so fast and jump off. I've gotten in a couple wrecks, but I've actually had some pretty good luck, so it's not too bad.
Well, I was going to ask, how many times have you taken a header?
So I would say about maybe 3 or 4, and I've goat tied since I was in the 6th grade.
Well, that's not bad.
Yeah, and those 3 or 4 were pretty bad. So I mean, I didn't get hurt or anything, but it was close to slide on your face or something like that.
All right,
is
it more embarrassing to does it hurt more, or was it more embarrassing to take a header off on the goat tying?
It probably hurt more. I mean, I think everybody falls and knows how it is. So, yeah.
All right. So I've never asked this before, and I've talked to a lot of rodeo athletes. When something like that happens, and you go back, behind the workout area or wherever it is, or behind the chutes or whatever, do people laugh with you? Or does it take a
Oh,
while?
yeah.
Or do they laugh right away, or are they like, oh, wait, let's see if she's okay first?
I mean, they're great. They're kids on my college radio team. I've made great friendships with them, and then, it's pretty good. I haven't fallen yet in the college rodeos, but it's great. They're great about it, and it's something to laugh about and replay the video quite a few times over.
I'm sure they do. Hey, I got to ask you, as Rylan Lufkin joins us here, freshman from UM Western, the official, I'll just say official, all-around champion, the Big Sky region for 2019-2020. Now, you've got a few more years of this to go before you head off into the pro ranks, but officially after you graduate. What's your degree?
I'm going into business, and the Experience One block program at UM Western was also a deciding factor why I attended Dillon, because it's just great. It lets you focus on your rodeo, and the block program where you only go to one class for 3 weeks. It's just been great. I really like it.
All right, so you obviously rodeo in the summer. Are you going? Do you have your PRCA card, or did you just get it?
I haven't had my PRCA card. I am possibly going to get it this year and go to some breakaways, because it's one of the first years they've had breakaway in the PRCA. So
which is really
I'm
cool.
going to go a little bit then, and then there, and then try to go to some amateur rodeos as well.
All right, so up here in Montana, we got the Northern Rodeo Association. What do they have in Idaho? Yep. Or do you just NRA?
They have the Intermountain Pro Rodeo Association, but it's actually an amateur association.
Okay.
But last year I went to both associations, and I ended up 6th in the NRA in Montana, and so that was great. They're both really good associations. So
yes, especially the NRA, which we're very familiar with here. I got to ask this too, because you're from Idaho, but you have a Southern accent. Why is it that literally everybody in rodeo has a Southern drawl?
I don't know. I go to Arizona in the winter. I guess you could call that Southern, but I don't know.
So, because you're not from Southern Idaho, right?
Southeast Idaho, yep.
A little Southern Idaho then. So, yeah, they have a little bit of a drawl there. Before I let you go, though, what are your plans for the summer? And how has this affected this, not being in school, the coronavirus, everything? Because did you go home, and how has it affected what you want to do?
So I moved back to my house in Idaho, and I'm just kind of hanging out, hoping for some rodeos this summer. Due to the coronavirus, I think it's a big possibility that our rodeos could be canceled this summer as well. So if they do go on, then I'll definitely rodeo this summer. And then if they don't, I guess I'll stay home and bring up some young horses to rodeo on.
There you go. So you're pretty good at training too, then.
I wouldn't say I'm pretty good at it, but I dang sure try.
You're fantastic. I can't wait to talk to you for the next 3 years, because I have a feeling you're going to have a very successful college career. I'm very bummed that you don't get to go to the college national finals. I feel bad for you and your teammates that qualified, and it's just, it sucks. I'll be flat out honest. It sucks that there's no CNFR this year. But continued success, and congratulations on the all-around crown, and we'll talk to you down the road.
Well, thank you very much. It was nice talking to you.
Ryland Lufkin, freshman, University of Montana Western Rodeo team, and won the all-around by a couple of points. And she's going to be a force to reckon with in the Big Sky region of the college rodeo, NIRA, moving forward. Joining us on the Mike Miller State Farm Hotline, and as do all of our guests, get a hold of Mike Miller in Helena today for all your home and auto insurance. All right, we got some time left, so let's fly into On This Day in History, which is brought to you by the Motherlode Sports Bar, Casino, and Restaurant. And you can order ahead, pick it up, curbside delivery. I highly recommend the Motherlode Burger, 3 3/4 pound cheeseburger with the perfect bacon on it. Unbelievable. Get a hold of the Motherlode. Today is National Cherish an Antique Day. It is also National Former Prisoner of War Recognition Day. Name Yourself Day, and Unicorn Day. On this date in 1959, the 13th NBA championship, Boston Celtics sweep the Minnesota Lakers in 4. It was the first of Boston's record 8 straight titles. 1962, Arnold Palmer won the third of his 4 Masters titles. In 1965, the first game at the Astrodome, and Mickey Mantle hit the first indoor home run in baseball history. It was an exhibition. 1972, at the 36th Masters, Jack Nicklaus goes wire-to-wire to win the 4th of his record 6. 1978, in a separate NBA games, the scoring title in the NBA came down to the last night, and David Thompson scored 73 from Denver. San Antonio's George Gervin scored 63. Let's see. 2006, at the 70th Masters, Phil Mickelson would win his second green jacket. And 3 years ago, at the 81st Masters in 2017, Sergio Garcia got his first major title in his 74th attempt. Happy birthday, born on this date in 1898, Curly Lambeau. Yes, Lambeau Field. 1954, happy birthday, Dennis Quaid, the rookie. He also was in a bunch of other movies. And Willie Stargell passed away on this date, the Pittsburgh Pirates, 7-time All-Star on this date in 2001. All right. I know you've been waiting patiently. We're going to talk a lot more about this tomorrow as well, but let's do this.
We're almost at the end of the show. What did we learn? And what did he miss? Time for the walk-off.
Walk-off brought to you by our friends at Cafe Zydeco. Did you know that Cafe Zydeco has been donating food the last few weeks to the ER nurses? Yes, they have. You need to support Cafe Zydeco as well. Get out there, order ahead, 625 Euclid, 449-7032. Get yourself some Cajun. Had the pasta Zydeco last week, unbelievable. The andouille sausage, spiced to perfection. All right, let's chat about this, and we're going to dive more into it tomorrow. But the MHSA today extended the spring sports suspension through April 24th, which coincidentally is the stay-at-home order from Governor Steve Bullock. April 24th. Spring sports will be canceled completely, according to MHSA Executive Director Mark Beckman, if in-person school instruction does not resume by May 4th. So basically, they're still giving hope to spring sports athletes. And we want the seniors to have a great send-off. Yes, we do. But Montana is one of a handful of states that has suspended spring sports, 32 of them. 17 have flat out canceled, and that includes neighbors, Wyoming and Washington. Idaho is close. They're suspended through April 20th. They're going to cancel. Montana needs to cancel its spring sports, and we're going to talk more about it tomorrow. Apparently, they discussed several options, including cancellation. Pushing the spring sports season into the summer was not strongly considered, according to 406mtsports.com. You have conflicts with American Legion Baseball, which isn't even happening right now. So, you're going to basically, Louisiana and Maine canceled today, by the way. Oregon canceled yesterday. You're basically giving these kids hope, and that if they're not in school by May 4th, then you're going to cancel it altogether. You don't. So then what? You're because then you got to have your mandatory 5 practices. So that takes you to May 9th. So then you have 2 weeks of the season, 3 weeks of a season. It's asinine. It's asinine. I could use other words, but I don't want to get in too much trouble. All right. Great show today. Katie Garson-Forba joined us. Make sure that you check out Scott Van Pelt Sports Center tonight, 9 p.m. Mountain Time on ESPN. The Hellgate boys and the Capital Girls seniors will be recognized by Scott Van Pelt tonight. That'll be awesome. 9 o'clock Mountain Time on ESPN under his senior standout performance or segment. That's what it's called. Anyway. Hey, go tomorrow. Sign up, Green Meadow Golf Club or Country Club. Okay? Get signed up. Tell them you heard it on the Jason Walker Show. We want to golf together. You and I. We'll do it again tomorrow. Katie Garson-Forba joined us today. Thank you, Jeff Graham, the belt, all everything, and Ryland Lufkin. Tomorrow, we talk to Andy Bolich from Montana State Rodeo. We'll talk to Luke Fecto, the Montana Air National Guard, and a whole lot more. We will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock as we wrap up the week. Have a great Thursday night.
The Jason Walker Show is produced by the Jason Walker Media Company. Any reuse, rebroadcast, or retransmission without the express written consent of the Jason Walker Show is strictly prohibited. Just listen, watch, and enjoy.